Hi, my name is Jillian Schaefer. I'm a senior brand manager with Zumba. I think over the last couple days, as I've spoken to some of you, I get two questions or two comments. It's one, I didn't know Zumba was a brand. Yes, it is. Clearly, we're here. And two is that, oh, I know someone who teaches Zumba. In fact, Raj, who was just up here, I learned yesterday his wife's an instructor. But someone knows people that teach. I don't know if anyone here has taken classes, but likely your mother, girlfriend, wife, sister, somebody that you know knows Zumba or has done Zumba. We have a 99% awareness in this country. So we're very big. Everyone knows what it is. But I don't think that people realize our global reach of Zumba. We have instructors in over 180 countries. There are 15 million students each week taking Zumba classes, and we teach in over 200,000 locations. Word on the streets, that's more locations that teach Zumba than there are gyms in this country. So it's interesting that I'm here to talk to you, though, about how to win at customer collaboration, because it's pretty much how the company was started. And the model that we have today was based on collaboration. So in 2001, three Albertos founded Zumba, and it started as a workout VHS tape that was sold via infomercial. We still run infomercials. But within a year, we had customers, I should say, who had bought the VHS tape and said, I want to teach Zumba. I want Zumba to come to my city. I want to teach it. So we started training. First, we hosted a first training, expected 30 people, had 150 people from around the country, and it just spread organically. As I'll say later, this is the first year we've ever really done advertising because the product is so good and people enjoy it so much that it's just gone organically. But 5 years later, instructors, as we were training more and more, said, okay, this is great, but we need more content. I'm not Latin. I don't have access to Latin music. I don't have the skills or the experience to do new choreography, and I've got to refresh my classes. So that's when we launched the Zumba Instructor Network. And it's a monthly-based program where we provide music, choreo, and a ton of benefits and a lot of marketing support to our instructors. Our business is to make them successful. A couple years later, they came and said, we want apparel, we want T-shirts, we want tank tops. Zumba Wear was born, and cargo pants with tassels, which you might have seen anyone that's attended class would have seen. This year, what I'm going to talk to you a little about today is the Let It Move You campaign. As I mentioned, it's the first time we've actually done brand marketing, and I'm going to use that as an example going through. So I have three very simple guidelines on why we succeed at customer collaboration, but simple is sometimes the best, and it's what's worked for us for the last 13 years. So one, we listen. We listen and we listen and we listen. And I know Julie talked about this yesterday, but our instructor is our core customer. We talk to them on a daily basis. They have access to the students. So we not only have like a B2B model, but because they are a channel, we view it as a B2C model. But we listen. We have a forum, a closed private forum where they can engage. These are where our super zens are. This is our alert system. So in this forum, we'll find out any potential issues. We don't use it to measure the temperature or to see the scale of the issue. That's where we go to social. So we have over 7 million followers on Facebook. We have a big Instagram follower, Twitter, and we use social, yes, to talk about our brand, but it's also a customer tool, and I think a customer care tool. And I think most brands nowadays, you kind of have to. If you check our Twitter feed, you see most of the posts are responding to people who have issues or questions. We also have an inbound customer care team that takes hundreds of calls daily. We have an outbound team. We have over 300 trainers around the world in different countries, and they send feedback back to us. So we listen, and we listen, and we listen. One of the best examples this year, pretty much probably why we're here, is when we launched the Let It Move You campaign. We did all the research, and we talked to consumers, and we talked to instructors. We identified 3 reasons that people weren't going to Zumba classes. 1, they didn't think they could dance, and I've heard that several times over the past couple days. 2, it was too Latin. And 3, it's just not for me. We overlaid that with why instructors inevitably become instructors, because Zumba leaves you with a feeling when you walk out of that class, and it physically moves you, and it emotionally moves you as well. So we launched a long-form version with creativity of our spot. And it's an industry thing, we do that within the industry, and we knew instructors were going to find out about it. We didn't anticipate within hours of it launching hundreds of comments. And while the overwhelming number really loved the spot, they were vocal that there were things in it that they did not feel represented who they were as an instructor. So within days before we actually put it on air, and we did a lot of digital video buying, we changed it. We went to the editing room and made a couple changes. So first I'm going to show you what the new spot looks like in case you haven't seen it. First, I want to say, and it's not the topic of why I'm here, but we do all of our creative, we do most of our marketing in-house. But when we need to do a big brand like spot like this, we collaborate. We worked with 180 LA to develop this spot. But you'll notice in that there's missing an altar boy, the factory worker doesn't rip open her shirt, and there's a class scene. Those were the three biggest feedback that we got from instructors. Zumba doesn't make me want to take off my clothes. I have religious issues with showing an altar boy during the middle of a sacred ceremony, dancing, across in front of the congregation, and then there's no class. Well, everyone here knows, and we knew as a brand that everyone knows Zumba's a class, so we didn't have to show it, but instructors wanted it. It's what represents them, so we added it. So because they know we listen, and they know that they have access to us, it's empowered them. And they feel they are our business partners, they're our stakeholders, they're our board of directors. We go out to them first before we launch a campaign, before we really do anything. We let them know what's coming. We kind of direct the conversation. We like to call it being proactive instead of reactive to their needs. But because we've empowered them, they're very vested in the business, and therefore they create their own content. So the second iteration of Let It Move You was a social experiment that we did. So we worked with Motive out of Denver and had people use dance as a form of currency to pay for their coffee, their pizza, or whatever. Within days, we had instructors coming to us, please bring this to me, show me how I can do this. We had videos pop up in New York and France, whatever. One of the best examples, though, and I'm going to show you instead of showing you our 3-minute video, is some members out of Malaysia worked with their local gym and created this.
Para que ustedes me alcancen necesitan una escalera. Este estilo es nuestro. Electropunta. Se mueve para aquí, se mueve para allá. Y es que tiene un cuerpo espectacular. Ella se mueve para aquí, se mueve para allá. Con esa cinturita a mí me va a matar. Ay, 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 ay. I know you like it, baby, shake it, don't stop.
So I think you get the idea. Obviously, the quality there is amazing, and not all instructors have that ability. So for those that can't do that, they know we listen, they know they feel empowered, so we activate them. We give them tools to help them spread the message. So they're not only our customers, they're our channel. And we provide them with all sorts of marketing tools, from flyers, business cards, class passes, things like that. We provide them with unique choreo content. For this particular the Let It Move You campaign, we picked up a song from Diplo. We took that Diplo track, remixed it ourselves, and incorporated a lot of the international rhythms and put a choreo to it so the instructors could take it to their class. Students can see, oh, I saw this commercial, whatever. Now I can do the class myself. But I think one of the things we're most proud of is to activate them on that commercial while they loved the final spot. If we can give them something that's easy for them to disseminate to their students or prospective students, and that's personal. Because we think globally, and we're a brand that thinks globally, and we have to do benefits and things that are globally. But they think about their individual class, their local YMCA, community center, wherever that they're teaching. It's very local and very personal to them. For this last example, we worked with Ruckus. And we have allowed us to personalize that video that you just saw with their name, and this is what's coming. You guys are special. We haven't released this yet. It's actually coming out the end of this month. I hope nobody video recorded that. Not the end of this month, the end of this week. So every instructor is going to receive a video with their name and their location so that they can share it. They'll be able to share it through email, through social. They'll be able back and able to, for the next 60 days, share it as many times as they want. So again, I said it's very simple how we've been successful. We listen, we empower, and we activate them. But it's the core of the business. It's what's worked for us for the past 13 years, and it's how we believe that we'll continue to be successful. So that is all.
Cool. Take a seat. We're going to continue the conversation.
Okay.
Either one. Okay. Sure.
You've been on that side, or the moderator's
Yeah,
always been
no,
on
it's
that side.
fine.
Keep it consistent for everyone.
Yeah. Consistency, actually, that's what I wanted to talk about. You've got a ton of instructors, and you talked about the power of using them as distribution and collaborators and stuff like this. But what about brand consistency? Because I guess when I was hearing, you're getting feedback and stuff like this, I wondered how do you make sure you don't have too many cooks in the kitchen?
It is a balance. You're not going to please everyone all the time. But within a community, because our community is so integrated and they speak so much, even if we're not able to address their issue or solve their particular problem, as long as they know that, okay, I've heard them, I realize that I'm part of this bigger movement, then it's okay. Mm-hmm. We don't, to brand consistency, and while the question of are you a brand, it's because we don't control them. Yes, there's usage guidelines on how you can use the logo and how you can use Zumba. It always has to come between Zumba class. You don't go to Zumba. You don't take Zumba. You take a Zumba class, and we encourage that with them and enforce that. But we give them freedom. Our instructors are some of the most individualistic examples of not even just fitness, just of a general ambassador and of a general segment of a population. But if we tried to control that and stifle that, it wouldn't exist and it wouldn't be as successful as it is.
So fitness is an interesting category. How do you make sure you don't become like aerobics? Remember Jane Fonda with the those aerobics with the socks and stuff like this? Because it seems like it's very how do you not become a fad?
Right. Well, we did it not more in spite of ourselves than anything. We at this point, given that we know we're no longer a trend, we continue to appear in popular fitness lists and things like that. We're not a fad. We're not a trend. The growth that we're still experiencing is still good. Sometimes it's hard, but you have control over that. And I think when you have a good product and it's not something that's on trend, I mean, there's a lot of fitness things that are out there that are very
So who do you
interesting.
view as your sort of competitors? Is it like SoulCycle? Is it like Barry's
spinning,
Boot Camp?
yes.
I see
So
everywhere.
we did a study earlier in the year, really understanding the group fitness female, and they kind of fall in two categories. There's the one category of the woman who wants to be told what to do. It's all about form. It's all about proper. She's the CrossFit girl. She's a high intensity, fitness person. And if that doesn't hurt, it's not working for her. Then there's the Zumba woman who just wants to go after 60 minutes. I've sweated. I had fun. I did it. I've accomplished something. Now, I can go about the rest of my day. And that woman is doing spinning or kickboxing or another type of cardio, supplementing that with yoga. So kickboxing, spinning, yeah, those are predominantly our...
So you want to convert people from spinning to Zumba?
To some degree. They kind of do a variety.
Or are you looking for
just start
people
to come
who
in a
don't
little
exercise to start to exercise?
Kind of both, because there's a large population of both.
Yeah.
So when we go out, it's really a demographic segment of a woman and interests and likes and lookalikes, but it could be either. We don't kind of go down one path. It's kind of hard sometimes to convert some people, but if you just show them what it is and share the stories of how Zumba can really affect you and how effective it is, it just kind of naturally works.
Okay. So this is actually more of a tactical question. You mentioned that you had 7 million Facebook fans. We've been writing a lot about how organic reach has basically gone down to zero for brands. How has that affected your strategy when it comes to Facebook?
Oh, we definitely have to pay to get the post out there. And depending on what it is, our instructors do a really good job of engaging with the content. So they're highly likely to share it and like it and whatever, but we have to pay for it. I mean, everyone kind of does now. So it's when we put content out there, depending on what it is and what we're trying to achieve, we post pretty much every day, and it's a wide variety of topics, mostly just about just the feeling that Zumba gives you. We insert some Zumba wear in there because our apparel line is one of our pillars of our business. So that we do a lot of Facebook advertising, a lot of advertising, just retargeting across different networks, digital video advertising. But with Facebook content, yeah, we pretty much have to pay for the reach. We're trying to go into the other channels. And Instagram, we have about 120,000, and that's they're highly engaged there. But it's still not as big, and it's not as global as our Facebook page.
Are there other social platforms that you're using more for organic reach?
I don't know that not yet. I mean, with YouTube, if you search, there are 3.7 million videos about Zumba. So it kind of, when people are looking, like it's kind of already there. So we don't really have to. We do. We post videos all the time. We even have an in-house video team, so we make a lot of that content. But we don't really have to. We don't have a challenge that a lot of brands do because it's there, and they're posting daily. Every popular song that's on any top 40 list, there are videos up there immediately within days about the core and the content and tied to Zumba. So.
Okay. I want to open it up to questions. Minute or so. Anyone? Any Zumba questions?
I have some. Those Zumba videos, those are created by your audience, I have to imagine, to a large degree as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you kind of reap that audience and get them to contribute so much to what Zumba is about?
We don't necessarily have to go out and ask them to create the content.
It just happens organically.
We just engage them and we communicate with them. We're kind of old. I mean, we mail to them every single month. They get content from us. We email to them multiple times a week. We post social information, and we just keep them informed and engaged through conversation. Mm-hmm. And because of how vested they feel in the business, we don't have to necessarily ask them to create it. It's already there. They're already embedded. It's natural for them.
Just by virtue of Zumba having the brand that it does.
Yeah. And the effect that the brand has on people's lives, too. I think that's something you can't.
Julie Brown in the back.
Hi, Jillian. I'm really intrigued by your personalization of your original content that you're sharing with your instructors. Is that something that you are going out to kind of surprise and delight them with the front and end cards, or are you actually providing that as a service where they come to you to request for content?
We did this similar with video earlier in the year. We have a convention every year, and 8,000 instructors around the country and around the world attend. And so earlier in the year, we used the same technology to put in the video their name on the place cards and everything, and they just absolutely loved it. So we've told them it's coming. They will kind of be surprised, but they're not having to come to us for this. We know that this is, we need to move the message and put the message forward, and the best way to do that is by giving them something that's personal to them. So we don't necessarily expect them to come to us and ask for it. Right. Our database of our instructors, because we physically mail to them, in countries where we can. We try to mail to everyone. Fortunately, Brazil and Italy, they have issues, and you can't always. But we have their information, and they're very proactive about keeping it up to date. So we will, when we go out with this, we will say, if this is the wrong city or you want a different video, you can email us here and request another one. So we'll see where that, what kind of response we get there. But initially, it's based on what's in our database.
Okay, cool. Jillian, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We will be breaking for 10 minutes, but first I wanted to announce our photo contest.